Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're going to be talking about the Fnatic Rogue game from yesterday. This is right before day 3 the LEC kicks off, so we have 2 full days in the books. We've seen 2 games from each of these teams, and we've seen a lot of good things, a lot of great things, a lot of amazing teams looking really nice, and some really exciting games so far, honestly. We had a crazy offseason where there was a ton of movement, a ton of big roster changes and stuff, and a lot of things got shuffled around at the top, and we've seen some teams looking great like G2. Rogue's even looking good, pretty good so far. But a lot of questions about Fnatic. 2 games in, obviously after this loss to Rogue, they're sitting at 0-2. In this video today, we're going to be breaking down this game, going over just what happened, but also what do things look like Fnatic going forward? Are they going to be a top team in the LEC this year? Is it time to start panicking? Is it not? Yes, it's only 2 games into the regular season, but now, today they're going to be playing a 3rd game against Schalke. They're kind of at risk of going 0-3, and all of a sudden, if you start out 1-2, 0-3, this isn't the LCS lock-in. This isn't a preseason tournament. This is the real deal. So we'll be talking about all that in this video today. Hopefully getting your guys' thoughts and opinions as well. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button really quick. It's fast, it's free, it's easy. Helps you guys tip today and all my latest content. And only 30% of the people that actually watch my videos consistently are subscribed. So right now, if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you're not subscribed. So hey, help us out, do your part. We're trying to hit 6,200 subscribers as fast as we can. And hey, maybe we'll even hit 7,000 sometime in 2021. That would be absolutely awesome. Also, drop a like on this video if you do enjoy it, if you want to support my content. Helps me out a ton. With that being said, here we go, getting right into today's video. So the first thing I want to talk about in this game is the draft. So yesterday Fnatic actually played a comp with Niski on Victor, and he looked pretty solid on the Victor, and that was one thing where I was like, he did look good on that, but I think they brought him in to play more of these supportive style mid laners, to play some more of these enabling style mid laners, which one, he's just better at, and 2, probably fit this Fnatic roster a little bit better, since we have obviously Selfmade trying to be the big carry on this team. We also have Bwipo and Hylli as very aggressive players. We have Upset as a massive carry. Niski doesn't really need to be on the Victor, that late game carry threat. He can be on some stuff like the Twisted Fate, like the Galio, some more picks like that I think could really enable this Fnatic team. So yes, he individually did not look bad yesterday, but when Fnatic lost, I thought, I kind of want to see how they work on a comp like this with him on a semi-global champion that can really enable his team for some of those more aggressive plays. And that's what they went with today. So I was more excited to see how this was going to go, and I thought Fnatic would look a little better. With that being said, Rogue on the other side, they also have a very nasty comp. They have the Twisted Fate, and they have the Pantheon to also answer those semi-globals from Fnatic. So it was going to be a difficult game. And I also think that the Rogue team is just very talented. I've been saying this all offseason. I loved Rogue last year, but if you say Finn was their weak point, I think Oduwamne coming in should really help solidify this Rogue lineup, and they're going to be a very scary team because they were already a scary team last year and they got better in the offseason. And Fnatic, they were a good team last year too, but we're really not sure. Did they get better in the offseason? They lost Reckless, they lost his leadership, they lost his just playmaking, his insane consistency as an AD carry, but also leadership, his voice in game, and just knowing you have that old reliable that guy there. But then also they lost Nemesis too, who people think Niski's an upgrade over him, but there's more debate there, where a lot of people are just saying Oduwamne, should be a straight upgrade over Finn and should really make this Rogue team pretty scary. Yes, we're not sure exactly how good Trimby's going to be just yet, and Vander seems to be doing pretty well so far on Misfits, but that's what people are thinking so far. So this game is going to be really interesting. If Fnatic loses, it's not the end of the world because Rogue's a really good team, but again, you don't want to start out 0-2. You don't want to be at risk of going 0-3. So we're going to jump in to the very first play of the game. This is 3 minutes in with the Fnatic bot lane going aggressive when Hans Sama gets caught out. I did think this was kind of an interesting play. As you can see, they go on to Hans Sama. They do get his heal out. Somehow Hans Sama does not flash away, and Inspired is coming in. What I think is really interesting here, and I wanted to rewind just for a second. You'll see Hylli continues to go forward when Upset backs away, because Upset knows that Inspired could be in the area, but Hylli just keeps going forward. So it's so weird to me that the Fnatic bot lane is on 2 different pages there. I would love to hear what the comms sound like. Is Upset backing away without telling Hylli? Is Upset telling him he's backing away and Hylli saying no, go, and then just keeps going in? Upset had some sense that, wow, we're going too deep. Hans Sama's not flashing away. Something's going on here. Why are they not retreating a little bit faster? They're jungler's bot side here. What are we doing? And Hylli just doesn't have that go off in his mind where he just oh, Hans Sama's low, we're gonna kill him. for whatever reason, they were on two different pages, and I tweeted about this, and it seemed like a lot of people agreed at the time that, yes, this is just one play, but man, to me, it kind of might signal something bigger going on where there's communication issues. There's also just Hylli and Bwipo not being able to stop themselves from going for every single play that they see. And, 2 games in now, we've seen 2 straight games of both Hylli and Bwipo just really, really turbo-inting, running it down, and that is very, very concerning. Now, again, are they missing that voice of Reckless? Is it just 2 bad games from Hylli and Bwipo and it's a coincidence? Did something change this offseason? I know there's also some questions that maybe Bwipo and Hylli aren't coming into the season as prepared as some of the other players. Maybe they took a little bit longer break. Maybe they weren't kind of grinding and practicing as much during the offseason. They took like a little bit longer vacation and stuff. I don't know. All different kinds of questions. But honestly, this game was an absolute banger. There was a ton of crazy fights early on. The 2 teams were going really, really back and forth. Even though Rogue was able to pick up that first blood, they're able to secure the first dragon. We see this the first Galio ultimate from Niski is able to set up this really, really nice fight for Fnatic. Because Fnatic still is a very, very talented team. They catch out Upset after he flashes away, or they catch out Hansama. Upset and Niski are able to pick up the kill. I thought Upset gets the kill there. And then a couple minutes later, another huge fight breaking out. Hylli with the Baram ult engage, and you see this whole fight just breaking out. Larsen's able to pick up a kill. Niski with another Galio ultimate over the top. Upset's picking up a kill onto Trimby. And it's just a really, really crazy fight where Bwipo ends up overextended a little tiny bit, and he gets caught out by the Pantheon. So there was another good play for Fnatic where Bwipo just ends up a little bit too far forward. And again, just a little bit off kind of communication with the team, where the team is starting to back up a little bit and Bwipo's still going in and just kind of gets caught out in a weird spot. But this game was really, really fun and really, really exciting. The teams were going back and forth. There was a ton of really bloody fights. And again, the Fnatic team does have a very talented roster, so they are still going to be able to perform in these skirmishes and stuff. But in all these little fights, I mean, the rest of the game, these little fights just keep breaking out, and in each one, Rogue just gains a little bit more of an advantage each time, as there's a little random death for Fnatic here, a little random death for Fnatic there. The Rogue team is just, they're very good as well. They're a very, very talented team. They can fight with you. But then we skip ahead to, it's like 23, 25 minutes into the game, where there is this one fight at this dragon where Rogue is going for the Mountain Soul, and this is a really, really big fight. Inspired, Larsen lands some really, really nice gold cards, kind of gets a good engage. Upset's able to kill off the Rakan, but you see the Rogue team kind of kites it back. The Fnatic is able to take out Inspired there, but then Larsen coming back in with the Rocket Belt, the gold card, and then Oduwamne just comes in on the Renekton and absolutely wipes out Fnatic. Rogue's able to pick up the ace, and then from there the game is pretty much over. I mean, it really just started to get ugly from there. As you can see, the final scores and stuff in this one, you had the 0-6-9 Braum from Hylli, the 1-5-6 from Bwipo, and then I saw some people saying that this was a solid game from Niski, and I don't know. I really didn't see it. I mean, there's only so much he could do when his team's kind of inting and he's kind of having a Galio ult on top of it. But Niski got caught out in weird spots a fair amount as well this game. This was kind of self-made, getting really, really fed on the Graves. Him hopefully having a team that can enable him with a huge, massive front line of Galio, Volibear, and Braum. But again, in the end, I mean, these guys weren't tanky. They were just kind of running it down. There was some moments where Fnatic showed some signs of life where they were kind of fighting back. But I mean, this Rogue team did look really, really good in this game. Obviously, Hansama 8-2-13 on the Kai'Sa. That's going to be tough. Larsen had a really, really good game on the Twisted Fate, 6-0-13. Like I said, Inspired and Larsen being able to match the mat pressure of the Galio, I just thought was a great idea from Rogue. They obviously had a very, very nice comp. Oduwamne, again, if this is the big guy for Rogue this season, if he really needs to be a rock in the top lane for them to be a solid team, 3-1-13, so far so good, going up against a team like Fnatic, like Bwipo up in the top lane. But in the end, I mean, the question is Fnatic going to be able to be a top team in the LEC this year? And really, top team would mean, like, top 3, making it to Worlds. And so far, we really don't know. I mean, 2 games in, G2 looks like they're as dominant as ever. This might be the best G2 lineup ever. I mean, that 2019 lineup's going to be tough to beat, but this G2 team has a chance to do that. Reckless seems to be coming into that lineup with absolutely no issues. They seem like they're going to be amazing. And then all of a sudden, Rogue looks like they might be establishing themselves as the second best team in the LEC. LEC, especially after they dismantled Fnatic. It was a close game in the early game with these skirmishes and stuff, but I mean, Rogue really ended up with a pretty dominating win over Fnatic. And then the other teams are pretty tough. You have Mad Lions, you have Schalke. Excel is maybe, you know, they beat Schalke yesterday. They're maybe throwing themselves in the mix, and Fnatic has not really shown us anything so far that they're going to be able to distance themselves from some of these other teams. So while yes, you might think Fnatic is more talented than Mad Lions, or more talented than Schalke, or more talented than Excel, or whatever other team, they need to prove it on the Rift, and they need to show it with some consistency. Again, we're only 2 games in. I don't want to overreact or panic or anything too much, but again, at risk of starting 0-3 as they play Schalke today, that should be an interesting game, and whatever team loses that game really ends up in a bad spot, but the winner of that game, they're going to be okay. But yes, it is a long season, but even last year, we saw Fnatic go like, I think 9-9 during the regular season or something. And yes, the regular season doesn't matter too much. Obviously, they ended up showing up in the playoffs. They go to Worlds, they show up, everything works out. But just because Fnatic has historically done this where they start slow and they end up ramping up, this is a different Fnatic team. You do not have Reckless anymore. You have Niski in there instead of Nemesis, who Niski had his own problems. You know, during last year's summer split into the summer playoffs, he didn't qualify for Worlds. It's not like Niski is some automatic guy who's just going to be able to come in and kind of ramp up with this team. There is no guarantees there as well. And Bwipo and Hylli have not looked good to start the season. Yes, they are insane playmakers. Yes, they like to go for these aggressive, crazy plays. But one, if the team's not on the same page, or two, if they're decision making is just off, if their timing is just off, especially against some of these better teams in the LEC like Rogue, man, it's going to be ugly. And yes, this Fnatic team absolutely has the talent to bounce back, and on paper they are definitely good enough. But we have seen talented teams fail before, and we have seen, you know, just every player has their time. Everyone has good splits, everyone has good years, everyone has bad splits, everyone has bad years. If you're not motivated, if things just aren't going right, if you're frustrated, if you're tilted, I don't know what the issues are for Bwipo and Hylli right now, or if they, you know, I do still think it's possible that they're just missing that voice of Reckless on the team, kind of that voice of reason. For whatever reason, you know, Fnatic definitely still has a chance to be a top team in the LEC this year, but is it at least a fair question to say, are they going to do it? I don't know. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think Fnatic's going to be fine, or do you think it's time to maybe start panicking just a little tiny bit? Because 2 games in, they're not looking so hot. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay updated on my latest content. Hope I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!